Hi there, this is Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, your host, again, as always, for the sky this week. We're talking, of course, April 25th, 2022. I've got the chat open, comments coming in from all over the world. Share where you're watching from. I'm broadcasting from Montreal, Canada. It's overcast mostly today, but it's mild. It's about plus 16 degrees Celsius. So I'm very happy because now it's really nice, pleasant to be outside with a telescope, with binoculars for extended periods of time. It's not below freezing, where you can really feel that on your body when it's below freezing. And so those of you that know that, you don't spend too much time. You kind of really mind exactly what you're trying to see in the sky. And this week, wow, you've got lots of things to see in the sky, particularly in the early morning. That's where all the buzz is about. And if you haven't heard about it, it's about this great planetary alignment. It's called a conjunction of planets, wherein these planets appear huddled in one part of the sky, clustered together. And this is really something very cool because it's something that's visible to the naked eye. You can use binoculars with it. And of course, if you have a telescope, you can study the individual planets or pairs of planets. In this case, a pair of planet will be visible even in a single view later this week. Fantastic stuff. And there's also a wonderful photo campaign by the outfit that I work with, a nonprofit called Astronomers Without Borders that I work with. And I'll talk more about that in the next few minutes. Before I turn to the planetarium, I just want to say a big hello to everybody out there. We've got folks from all over the world. We have someone from Greece. We've got hello from Sweden. Oh my gosh, Tess, thank you for coming by. We have Nancy in Netherlands. Fantastic. Look at all of you guys. I'd love to hear. And of course, Suna from Turkey. Here, let me move you guys over here. It's a little bit better. I'd love to see where you're watching from. Where else do we have Jean as well. Nice of you to be here. Ellie, also from the Netherlands. Oh my gosh, look at all of you. Carol, nice to see you too. That's so great. I'm so happy you could join me. Yeah, keep putting them in. I like seeing where you guys are. It's amazing. And we share the same sky, don't we? Christian from Luxembourg, very nice to see you. So happy that you could join me for a few moments out of your day. Why don't we turn our attention to the planetarium program, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, we've got the program here set for early morning. This is the amazing view this is actually set for Sunday morning. So this was yesterday, 24 hours, a little over 24 hours ago for me. Sunday morning. This was the view towards the southeast. Look at that. It's a perfect clustering of the four brightest planets. Four. You've got Jupiter, lower left, then Venus, a little bit above it, and then you've got Mars, which is faint, and then you have Saturn. Let me make this a little bit darker. So we're going to go a little bit. This is at just before sunrise. But as the sky darkens, I'm going to move back in time to about a half hour before sunrise. And look at that. You see that? Clearly, you can see the planets a lot better. Now, I just want you to take time and see how they're all lined up. Do you see how they're all aligned beautifully diagonally here? That's because this is the highway of the planets. They all kind of move along this imaginary line, this pathway. And I'll show you from a different perspective in a minute as well. But this is the view that was on Sunday. Now, today, Monday morning, if you were out there at dawn or morning twilight, looking for the crescent moon, you would see this beautiful view this morning where the moon is just between Mars and Saturn. Two very, very different planets, and just gorgeous as it's kind of sandwiched right in between. And then just to the lower left of them is that pair. Now, what I want you to do this week, if you can, get out of bed and watch this clustering of planets. You'll notice that these two worlds, Venus and Jupiter, will be getting closer and closer over the next few days as well. Very amazing, beautiful sight, and we'll talk more about that in a second. And then you see there's the moon. So watch the moon over the next day. So this is Monday morning. So this already occurred for me. Maybe for you where you are, it's still, you're waiting for it to happen. But this is Monday morning. This is where they are. Tuesday, April 26th. This is where the moon will be. We'll be between the pairing of Venus and Jupiter to the left and Mars to the right. Just gorgeous. And then this is the view on Wednesday, April 27th. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. So this view is really beautiful because, of course, the clustering, it's close to the horizon, the southeast horizon. It's just a spectacular view. Those of you that are above 51st latitude are going to have a problem with this because it might be below your horizon, but the vast majority of the population around the world will be able to see this beautiful clustering. And my friends at AWB, Astronomers Without Borders, that I'm part of, we're putting together a beautiful photo campaign called Beauty Without Borders. And let me show you a little bit about that right here. On Astronomers Without Borders, if you go to the Astronomers Without Borders website, it's just like the words, Astronomers Without Borders. I'll put that in there right now. Let me just see if I can. Let me see if I can do that into the chat, because I think this would be really good for you guys to check out there. So that's astronomerswithoutborders.org. That's the front page. It's a great nonprofit. It basically uses astronomy as a tool, educational tool, basically to build community. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to be able to do. And so one of the things they do is to showcase that how we have a shared heritage of the night sky that I always talk about. And one of those things is to be able to see the same events in the sky. So one of these events is this encounter of the moon with Jupiter and Venus. And so we're calling it Beauty Without Borders. And it's done by some great, in partnership with Celestron, makers of telescopes, and timeanddate.com, where you get all your time zone differences and all your information regarding times. Clocks and all of that. There's some great videos for you to watch. And then there's instructions on how to take a picture using your smartphone. Nothing more than just your smartphone is what's needed for this. It's really, really something cool. I mean, I think it's just amazing that today's smartphone technology is good enough to be able to take pictures. And you basically can enter your information at the bottom of the page, and it'll be added. Your pictures can be added to a library, an online library. And this is a library that we're building that's international, and we want to see what this view looks like from wherever you are. The orientation of this is going to be slightly different from everyone around the world. Some of you will see it a little bit slanted one side or to the other side, depending on what latitude you are. If you're in the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, along the equator, perhaps close to there, tropical areas, it'll be kind of oriented differently. But the clustering of these three worlds, the moon, Jupiter, and Venus, will be pretty much the same, but in orientation it'll be different maybe. So that's what's up for Wednesday, and we want you to take some pictures, and if you can just do that and send them into Astronomers Without Borders to their Beauty Without Borders campaign. We'd love to see as many pictures with your smartphones as you can. It's very easy to do, and you just enter in and put it in the library, and we'll see how everything looks from different parts of the world. It's a really, really fun project. Also, there's a neat little video. Check this video out. It gives you a good rundown of what to expect, all the things that I'm talking about today. So check this out. There you go. It's an interesting little video. I'll put a link to that. That's on AWB's YouTube channel. Some fun stuff. But that's Beauty Without Borders.
Yeah, rain was in the area. It makes it really difficult to do those 24-hour go, no-go calls.
Hold on. We're getting... There we go. Sorry about that. So, yeah, definitely this is something that you guys can do. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It's something that's accessible to a telescope, to binoculars. And of course, with the binocular, you'll get a great view too. I mean, zooming in on this trio, you can get a fantastic view, something like this through binoculars, barely getting all of them in. And of course, with a telescope, that's where it gets even more interesting with a telescope later this week. So this is the view again on Wednesday, April 27th. But if we move ahead and say April 20, this is April 28th, 29th, look at Jupiter and Venus. April 30th, look at that. You see how they're so close together? They'll be so close this Friday and Saturday, April 30th and May 1st, that the two planets will appear to be almost touching, so close. This is the view that you'll get through a pair of binoculars. You could separate the two planets very easily. And through a telescope, it gets even more interesting. This is the view that you'll get through a telescope in one view. Imagine that, folks. One view. You point it at your whatever little telescope you have at a low magnification, and you'll see both of them as disks, not as pinpoints of light like you do with the naked eye. Big difference. Look at the disks. Look, Venus looks like a quarter moon, doesn't it? That's because of the way the sun is shining on the planet from our vantage point here on Earth as we look into the skies at Venus. Then we look at Jupiter, clearly see those cloud bands around Jupiter, and you see they're already on this marking. There are little Io and Ganymede and Europa. The little moons of Jupiter will be visible. Some of the Galilean moons are actually visible through a small backyard telescope. So, and with the naked eye, this is what you'll see. This is, again, Friday, April 30th and May 1st, Saturday, is when you'll see these two planets. But if you go out now, if you look at it, look, back now and on Monday, this is how far away they are. Monday, this morning, they were this far. By Tuesday, look at Venus and Jupiter. See how they're getting closer? And look, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday next week. See how Jupiter's moving off on its own, leaving Venus behind, and all the planets are separating like that. So this is why I think, this is a really great way to see how the worlds are actually in motion. Everything is in motion, and it depends on how far away some things are, how fast they move, and how fast Earth moves along its tracks compared to the other planets. So one other thing I want to show you here with this amazing thing is if I, for instance, I'll choose Mars, and we're going to go into orbit magically to see all the orbits of the planets. So here we are, we're moving out into a perspective of being able to see the planets from above the plane of the solar system. So I'm just going to move back off here. You can see that red line that you see across there, that's the trackway, the pathway that Mars follows around the sun. There's some constellations in the back and some stars and the Milky Way in the lower right corner there. And now we finally moved farther enough away. There's the inner solar system with the sun at the center. We've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. A little farther away, we see Jupiter's trackway around the sun. And then we also see Saturn there, right? So let me just go at an angle there. You can see all the different pathways. But check this out. If I zoom in, you'll see that's where we are, right? That's Earth. That's our vantage point. So remember how we see Venus and Jupiter close together? Look at that. Look at that. If I just do this, you can see why that's happening. Venus and Jupiter are super close in the skies, but they're actually separated by hundreds of millions of kilometers, right? It's just the vantage point from Earth looking at it. Here we are in the front, and we're just looking down that sightway, right? And you see Venus and Jupiter, they look super close together, right? That's because we're in there with the other planets in the same trackways there. And then you have Mars off to the side, remember? Remember how it is in the sky. You've got Venus, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn, right? So from Earth, you'll see Jupiter and Venus, and then there's Mars right there, and then Saturn way over there, right? So that's why they appear the way they do. If we go magically back to our site there, that's what it looks like in the sky, right? Jupiter, Venus, and of course, way up there, we've got Saturn. So that's the setup of all the planets that we have in the morning skies. Now, if we turn our attention to the evening skies, before I leave, you'll see, of course, the moon is out of the way. We're heading, by the way, into a solar eclipse. Those of you that are in South America, in Chile and Argentina, in the southern parts, you will see a partial eclipse. Up to 53% of the sun's disk will be covered this Friday near sunset. Just before sunset is when you want to see it. In the last hour before sunset, you'll see a bite taken out of the sun. I'll put some information in the comment section for those of you that are in Argentina and Chile. There's also going to be a live stream for everyone else around the world. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be really neat. I'll give links to all of that stuff in the coming days. One lonely planet in the evening sky, and that is little Mercury right there. Just after sunset, sweep the sky in the west for the first kind of little faint star embedded in the twilight of dusk and a dusky, light from the sunset. That is little Mercury. And Mercury is going to set very soon after the sunset. And then, of course, we have all these wonderful constellations that are just now starting to rise in the sky. There's Gemini. There is Auriga. Taurus is already setting this time of the year, so we've passed that. Cancer, the crab, is up there. Hydra is up there. And my friend Leo, the lion. And Virgo are prime time right now. And this is the corridor where you get to see a lot of what we call deep sky objects, particularly galaxies. Look at how many. I just turned them on. Look how many you can see. It's incredible. The brightest ones are right along, sandwiched between Virgo and Leo. Some great stuff. We've talked about those in the past as well. And we've talked about the summer triangle. I should say, sorry, the spring triangle. I'm getting ahead of myself. Spring triangle is marked by this one. This is actually, let me get the names. Hold on. Let me get the names in here. There you go. That's a Regulus. Okay, right there. There we go. That's a Regulus, the heart of Leo the Lion. Spica, down here. And then Arcturus. So these three mark out the spring triangle formation. Without the moon right now in the evening sky, go out and try to find that, the spring triangle. It's really nice, easy to find because they're very high up in the sky this time of the year. So it's a great, great time period. And look, summer constellations are beckoning. They're starting to come. I'm not going to talk about them right now because we'll wait for them to get higher up in the sky earlier in the evening, because most of us don't stay up into the overnight period to watch the skies. A lot of us go maybe after supper in the early evening, late evening, before midnight. So we'll wait a little bit for that. But there's coming. Hercules is one of them, one of my favorites that are coming up. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's my pleasure. I see all of you guys all chiming in. I will put more links as I get them this week. Let me see if I can get this. And also, just a little plug, my book, Backyard Guide to the Night Sky, published by National Geographic. If you are interested in the night sky at all, doing casual stargazing, getting your kids interested in stargazing, looking how to buy a telescope, binoculars, how to use them, getting some ideas of what to watch for, tips and tricks on how to find things, this is the book for you. The Backyard Guide to the Night Sky. It's a pocket-sized book, small, soft cover. It's available wherever books are sold, of course, and that includes Amazon. So if you get to go to Amazon, you can shop for that. It's been a bestseller for a number of months. In fact, I published it now a little over 2 years ago. And I'm just tickled pink by the amazing reception it's had by people around the world. Yes, even for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, it has something. But before I let you go, just a little bit of a tidbit of information. I have another book coming out. It's going to be coming out in October, and it is a monster. This is one of those coffee table types of stargazing books. It's a Stargazer's Atlas. It's a massive undertaking. I've been working on it for well over a year, and it's the reason why I've been so busy and sometimes late on some of my live streams. I've been working on very tight deadlines of putting together these massive maps, all sky maps, constellation maps, pumping in as much information as I can about how to do stargazing and how to navigate the night sky. And there are literally thousands of objects I've packed into this Stargazer's Atlas. It's a National Geographic, just it's an incredible book. It's an incredible monumental book. And I'm so excited. It's coming out this fall in October, Northern Hemisphere fall. So it's springtime for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere. And by the way, for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, the book will have lots of stuff for you. I can't say anything more. As soon as I have more information and maybe give you some more sneak peeks at it, I'll let you in on that. Of course, keep watching. And if you like this video, guys, please show your support. I'm here every Monday sharing my knowledge with you, all of you, of what to see in the night sky. I personally customize choices. I look for things that are easy to find and worthwhile to go outside and look by yourself or maybe with your friends and family. And if you like it, please show your support by subscribing to my channels, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and now perhaps even on Twitter. I'm told I'm going to be there. I'd love to see all of you guys. I'd love to hear your voices being heard. This is a community channel. So with that, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope to see you on the next video. And of course, until then, what do I always say? Clear skies. Bye-bye.